What can iOS 15 do? A whole lot, apparently, including major changes to FaceTime, notifications, Apple Wallet, and more. These are the best iOS 15 features. Hey friends, I'm Tasia Custode and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I share tech tips and app reviews. Today I'm breaking down the top 10 iOS 15 features with a little bonus for you at the end, of course. So come on, we have a lot to cover. Let's go. First, if you're thinking of upgrading to iOS 15, you're going to need to be on an iPhone 6S or higher in order to do so. Second, there are literally hundreds of new iOS 15 features, so I'm just scratching the surface here with a top 10 list, what I think are the best iOS 15 features. And third, prior to ever running any update to an OS is make sure you back up your device. So, new iOS 15 feature number 1, FaceTime updates, including FaceTime in your browser. So with some of these updates, Apple is hoping to make video chats even more lifelike. There's a lot to cover when it comes to FaceTime. Yeah, we're starting off with a bang. When having a FaceTime chat, you may notice spatial audio, meaning it's gonna sound like the audio is coming from different locations. And Apple says this is gonna make your group conversations a bit easier to follow. Other handy new FaceTime features are the mic filters. So you can now toggle on something called voice isolation in order to block out all the background noise on your end, which is really, really cool. Conversely, you're also going to be able to toggle on wide spectrum audio if you want your mic to pick up your surrounding audio. So to do so from a FaceTime call, open your control center by swiping down from the top right corner of your screen, and then just tap on mic mode, right kind of near the top right there. Now just tap on voice isolation to enable it, or if you wanted, you could tap on wide spectrum if you prefer that. Now there are a few other FaceTime features that are gonna make it feel more like Google Meet or Zoom, starting with grid view. That's right, group calls can now be displayed in a grid format. So it's like an individual tile or square for each participant. You're also going to be able to rearrange the tiles too. So you can enable this again directly from your FaceTime group call. Just tap on the call or the screen once, and then select grid in the bottom left. It's as easy as that. But that's not all the new FaceTime features. Oh no, you can also now blur your background in FaceTime, which I have to say, this is a feature that every single person who's ever been on a video chat requests and loves and wants. So this is now available on FaceTime via portrait mode. So here's how it's done. From a FaceTime video call, you're gonna open that control center again by swiping down from the top right-hand corner, but this time, you're gonna select Video Effects. Now from here, simply tap on Portrait to enable it. And by the way, to get out of this control center, you just swipe up from the bottom of the screen to return to your video chat. We're almost through the new FaceTime features, I promise, but these last ones might be the best yet. You can now schedule a FaceTime ahead of time or invite others to join a FaceTime via a link. That's right, you can create and share links, which makes FaceTime a lot more like traditional video conferencing platforms. That's right, you can create a FaceTime link to share with anyone, whether they're an iOS user or not. Let me repeat that again. When you create a FaceTime link, it will even work on a browser, meaning that'll even work on Windows and Android devices. Hallelujah. So here's how to create a FaceTime link on iOS 15. All you have to do is open your FaceTime app, and then here at the top, tap on Create Link. You can tap on Add Name option here to give the call a name if you wanted. So like Q3 meeting or something, and then just tap OK. Now choose how you want to share the link. So you can share it via AirDrop messages, email, and so on, or you can tap copy underneath to just simply copy the link and then just share it in other ways. Now the scheduled call now appears underneath this upcoming heading in your FaceTime app, and you can just tap on it to join the call from there. Or if you shared or pasted a link in your calendar app, for example, you could access the call right from there too. And by the way, when someone joins a FaceTime call via a link, they're gonna be prompted to enter in their name. And then everybody that's in the FaceTime call will be able to either allow or not allow that user to join the call. Okay, that was a ton of info on the new FaceTime features. So now let's move on to my next favorite iOS 15 feature. Coming in at number 2 is the Shared with You feature. Now this has been specifically designed to make it easier for you to find all the links and all the media that anyone's shared with you via messages. So there's actually no setup to this feature. It's just built right in now. So you know when people send you URLs or media links in messages? Well, now those links will automatically be added to a Shared with You list. And that's going to be found in a number of different apps. Meaning, as an example, if someone shared a link with you via messages, you can just head to your Safari app and then tap right on the address bar. And now, boom, underneath favorites, you have this new Shared with You section. It's as easy as that. So links and media are now automatically saved to the News app, Apple Music, Safari, Apple TV, Apple Podcasts, and the Photos app. And handy tip within a tip, you can actually pin a link within messages, and then that'll add it to the top of your Shared with You section. What a handy organization option for all those shared links and URLs. No more digging around to see who sent you what when. Number 3 on my list of top 10 iOS 15 features is focus mode. Now, focus and do not disturb go hand in hand. And as a matter of fact, do not disturb is now found as part of focus mode. So you can access focus from your settings app. And then it's right here now with that same icon that you might recognize that was designated for do not disturb initially. So if you tap on focus, now here is where you have your do not disturb with a slew of other customizations. Or you can save time actually and access focus mode right from your control center. So remember, that's a swipe down from the top right. So with focus, you're gonna be able to block notifications from certain apps and pause specific features. So you can really customize here. You can create different focus profiles, like say a work focus, where you can block out things like YouTube and social media, but maybe you don't want to block out mail and other productivity app notifications. Cooler yet, your contacts will get a notification that you're in focus or do not disturb mode in certain apps. So here's how to use focus mode in iOS 15. Open focus from the focus section in settings or via your control center. And you want to tap on the plus button in the top right to create a new focus, or just you can tap on one of the existing focus modes to customize that further. So here you can choose a preset focus goal, or you can create something completely custom by choosing a name and icon and color. And any focus mode you create, you're gonna get to choose if you want notifications during that focus, and if so, from which people. Okay, then you can select the apps that are allowed to send you notifications, and then choose whether or not you want to receive time-sensitive notifications, which by the way is also new to iOS 15. And then when you're all set, just tap done. Now to activate a focus, you can simply toggle it on via your control center. And when a focus mode is active, your control center is actually going to display that with the name and icon of the focus mode. And may I interrupt this list to ask a huge favor? If you're finding value in this content, remember to give this video a like and please subscribe to my channel for, well, more content like this. I would really, really appreciate it. And now back to our regular scheduled programming. Number 4 on the best iOS 15 features is actually your all new notification summaries. That's right. In general, notifications are going to feel a whole lot different in iOS 15. To access your notifications, swipe down from the top of your screen, and instead of just the regular old notification center, which is still there, we have some better organization. So for example, notifications from people now appear higher on your notifications list. Plus you can choose how you want to receive notifications. So if you get overwhelmed with notifications throughout the day, you can actually choose to receive notifications as a summary sent at specific times of the day. So you're still gonna have important ones from contacts appear immediately, but other ones will be sent at your chosen times. So here's how to enable notification summaries on iOS 15. Open Settings and tap on Notifications. Now from here, choose Scheduled Summary at the top and then simply toggle that on. From here, you can choose apps for your summary, and then you can change the time for the first and second summary, or you can opt to add additional summaries throughout the day. So once you have it all set, just tap on Turn on Notification Summary. Fifth on the list of best new iOS 15 features is live text. Now this is really reminiscent of Google Lens, but it is super helpful. This feature scans photos for words and then converts them into selectable text. So think anything like recipes, logos, street signs, notes, anything that has text. So simply open your camera app, and anytime there's detectable text, you're gonna have yellow lines outlining the text. Now simply tap on the icon in the bottom right to select that text. Now from here you have some options. You can copy the text and paste it into other apps, you can select it, you can look it up, you can translate it or share it. Now for the translation, live text currently supports about 7 languages, I believe. And by the way, this works on your old photos too. So this is really helpful, you know, like I take a lot of photos of business cards, for example. So now it's really easy to select that text, copy it, and paste it over to my Contacts app. Another camera feature that is new to iOS 15 and comes in at number 6 is visual lookup. Now again, this is really similar to Google Lens tech, but now it's finally available on iPhone. So this works both in the camera app, so while you're pointing your camera at something, or from already snapped photos. So for example, from a photo you've snapped, you can simply tap on the I button, and when you do so, you're given some more information on the photo, but it also tells us what the object or subject is. So if you tap on the image, it's going to attempt to find similar and related items. Now, the key to keep in mind here is that it's going to try to identify, plants, landmarks, animals, different items, and things like that. Number 7 on my list is for my US friends, at least for now, and that's to add keys and IDs to Apple Wallet. Now, the most important thing you have to know here is that adding IDs to Apple Wallets is rolling out slowly. They're only going to start with a couple of states right now. So although I'm in Arizona, which is one of the states it is coming to first, I'm recording these screens still on the iOS 15 public beta, so I don't actually have access to it yet. But have no fear, I'm still gonna walk you through the whole thing. So here's how to add ID to Apple Wallet for when it becomes available to us. You're gonna open the Apple Wallet app and tap the plus sign in the upper right corner of the screen. From here, tap the card type. And this section, by the way, is where you would add your keys like car key or hotel key too. But for this, you'd select identification card. And then you would simply follow the on-screen prompts to scan your driver's license or your state ID. And then once it's scanned, you're gonna get a confirmation that your ID is secure and it's ready to use. And don't worry, keys and IDs are encrypted and stored locally, just like everything in Apple Wallet. All right, let's move on to number 8 on the list of top iOS 15 features, and it's actually a handy little accessibility feature that allows you to adjust the text size per app. That's right, you no longer have to do a blanket adjust text size for the entire device, every single app. Here's how it works. First things first, we want to add this ability to our control center for easy accessibility. So we're going to head to settings and then scroll down and tap on control center. From here, scroll down again until you find that text size option, and then simply tap it to add it to your control center. Now, just open whatever app it is that you want to adjust the text size for. So I'm gonna pick my Notes app as an example. And now simply swipe down from the top right to access the control center. And now you can tap on the AA text icon here. Now from here, let's select Notes Only on the left. And you're gonna have whatever app name that you're currently in, that's gonna be listed here. And now you just slide up or down on the slider to adjust the size bigger or smaller. So I've made my Notes app text bigger, but you're gonna notice if I go over to, say, like the Safari browser, the text size has not been changed. How cool is that? All right, we're nearing the end, I promise. Coming in at number 9 for some of the best iOS 15 features is the Weather app. That's right, the Weather app has gotten a complete redesign and there is more information than ever. Now in your Weather app, you're gonna notice all kinds of new features. So you might remember Apple purchased Dark Sky, and so they've now integrated some of those features right into the Weather app. So you're gonna still have, the background change per time of day, though there are some new animations that are pretty neat in iOS 15. But if you scroll down, you're going to see a lot of new information. So for example, I can click on See More, and would you look at this view now? So we can actually click on layers on the right side here, and you can check out precipitation and also air quality details, which by the way is available just in some countries right now. But if we go back here, it gives us a whole snapshot of the sunrise and UV index, humidity, wind, visibility, and more. It's super robust. Now remember, we have a bonus coming up, but coming in at number 10 on the list, Apple Maps updates. Where to begin with Apple Maps? First, forgive me, Father Google Maps, for I have sinned just for uttering these words. But regardless of my feelings about Apple Maps, there are a few updates worth noting here. I guess. First, Apple has added more transit details like traffic lights and bike and bus lanes and crosswalks. And these are not only visible in the app, but also on CarPlay as well. Second, you can now track and pin your most used public transit routes and have updates sent directly to your Apple Watch, which is really handy if you're on the go. And last, Apple Maps finally has AR directions. Yeah, the feature Google Maps has had for years. I digress. Apple's AR directions display arrow markers on your screen to guide you to your destination. However, this is only available in select cities right now, so there's no word on when it's going to work in all of the US, let alone in the world. And if you've made it this far, woohoo! Do I have a bonus for you? One of the best iOS 15 features by far is SharePlay. Now, the reason SharePlay didn't make my official list is because it's not actually available on the initial release of iOS 15. Apple has delayed it a little bit. However, it is still one of the most highly anticipated features, and it is coming. With SharePlay, you're gonna be able to hold group watch parties on FaceTime or share your screen when you're giving a presentation. Wowza. So all the shared media is synced and can be controlled by all the users on a call. You can also send SharePlay videos directly to your Apple TV devices. So this means you're gonna be able to watch or listen to media from Apple AirPlay, Apple TV, Apple Music, Disney+, ESPN, HBO Max, Hulu, Twitch. The list goes on and on and on. It's pretty neat indeed. And if you're watching this exact portion of the video right now, I just love ya. So comment below with a, iOS equals heart emoji. I would love to connect with you. So those are my picks for the best iOS 15 features. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think of these top 10 iOS 15 features? What are your favorites? Any that I missed? Let everyone know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, well, I want to know, so give it a like, a share, or leave that comment below. You can click right about here to subscribe to my channel, and up here and here for even more iOS videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.